Hey guys, how's it going? We're back with part 4 of the Trump Chris Wallace interview. Here to break it down for you. Here to talk about all the great goodness, juicy goods that we're getting in this big beautiful baby. Let's go. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. Cool.
I want to talk to you about Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Since the pandemic hit, millions of people have lost their job.
Yeah, maybe tying people's healthcare to their employment was not a good idea and just gave work environments even more control over people's everyday lives in an immiserating and brutal way.
And thereby lost their health insurance. And almost 500,000 have signed up for Obamacare. Your administration just announced that you're signing on to a lawsuit to overturn Obamacare.
And replace it.
Why does it make sense to overturn Obamacare, with which people now are relying on? Democrats are going to say the man who's wanted to kill Obamacare is going to take away the protection for pre-existing conditions.
First of all, we got rid of the individual mandate. Pre-existing conditions will always be taken care of by me and Republicans, 100%.
But you've been in office 3.5 years. You don't have a plan.
Well, we haven't had... excuse me. You heard me yesterday. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks.
They tried a healthcare plan before, and it went really, really poorly. Also, individual mandate was pretty dumb. Forcing people into a private market is just, it's brutal.
Full and complete healthcare plan that the Supreme Court decision on DACA gave me the right to do. So we're going to sign an immigration plan, a healthcare plan, and various other plans. And nobody will have done what I'm doing in the next 4 weeks. The Supreme Court gave the President of the United States powers that nobody thought the President had by doing what they did, their decision on DACA. And DACA is going to be taken care of also. But we're getting rid of it because we're going to replace it with something much better. But we got rid of already, which was most of Obamacare, the individual mandate. And that I've already won on. And we won also on the Supreme Court. But the decision by the Supreme Court on DACA allows me to do things on immigration, on health care, on other things that we've never done before. And you're going to find it to be a very exciting 2 weeks.
Yeah, I want angry email grandpa in charge of my immigration, especially after all the cool stuff he's done so far.
Your niece, Mary
nice.
Trump, has written a book about you and your family, and one of her main points
Hilarious book,
she
by the
says
way.
Your dad, Fred Trump Sr., damaged the whole family.
True.
And here's what she says about
Clearly.
what you learned from your father.
He learned to become the killer, you mentioned, the man who needs to succeed at all costs, who will do anything to get attention, financial rewards.
That's obviously true.
And to win.
Do you see any truth in that?
My father liked to win. My father was a very good man. He was a strong man. It's disgraceful that she said that. She was not exactly a family favorite. We didn't have a lot of respect or like for her. I would have never said that, except she writes a book that's so stupid and so vicious, and it's a lie. My father was a great, wonderful man.
Let me just ask you this question.
This is not a person that I spent very much time with, very little time. And now I'm glad.
You've developed a pretty thick skin over the years.
Yeah.
From decades of attacks in New York tabloids, now from the press here, and your political opponents here in Washington. But even for Donald Trump, does it hurt you at all to be attacked in such personal terms by a member of your own family?
It hurts me more about attacking my father, not being kind to my mother.
Dude, he's always angry. He's always just clearly... What is wrong with this father? What's wrong with this dad's head?
A mother who was like a
What is up with his head?
saint. She was incredible. She was an incredible woman. And
She's basically Lucille from Arrested Development.
was nasty even to my mother. She's a very scarred person. She was not much of a family person. But look, let me just tell you, my father was, I think he was the most solid person I've ever met. And he was a very good person. He was a very, very good person. He was strong, but he was good.
Why is his head shaped like that?
For her to say the kind of things, a psychopath, that he was a psychopath?
That looks like a psychopath. He looks he looks like a melting wax figure, dude.
Anybody that knew Fred Trump would call him a psychopath. And you know what? If he was, I would tell you. And I would say, you know, Chris, I was with my father and it was impossible. My father was tough. He was tough on me. He was tough on all of the kids. But tough
Clearly.
in a solid sense, in a really good sense. For her to say, I think the word she used was psychopath.
I love that how many like boomers are just gonna identify with this because they just got the tar beaten out of them by their parents at all times. And they're just like, yeah, that's what good parenting is.
What a disgrace. She ought to be ashamed of herself. That book is a lie.
Some people were surprised when you agreed to this interview, to sit down with me.
What are you going to ask?
Especially...
I don't know, dude. It's been pretty rough for you so far, man.
Because of some of the mean tweets that you've said about me. Mike Wallace wannabe, nasty and obnoxious. I will tell you, after that one, my son Peter, who you've met, called and he said, nasty, no. Obnoxious, maybe. But here's the question. One of your beefs seems to be that I put Democrats on the show and I ask them questions. And I guess the question I have is, don't you understand it's my job to put Democrats on as well as Republicans and to ask them
why is he whining about
like
this?
I ask Republicans?
What's up,
I'm not
Chris?
a big fan of Fox. I'll be honest with you. They've changed a lot since Roger Ailes. And I watch people like Swalwell, who I don't even know. He goes on the show. He got less than 1%. All of a sudden, he's on being interviewed for endless.
Yeah, but I interviewed Nancy. Wait, I interviewed Nancy. I interviewed. You sent one tweet after I interviewed Nancy.
Man, for someone who doesn't like Fox News, you clearly watch it all the time. That's the thing. He's the thin-skinned email grandpa who's just an angry old man mad at the TV.
And in the interview, I asked her specifically
This is just
about
TV
the fact
drama.
in February you were in Chinatown pitching tourism while the virus was spreading. If the president underplayed the threat in the early days, Speaker Pelosi, didn't you as well? Isn't that legitimate to talk to the Speaker of the House?
Look, I know you very well. I respect you a lot. I respect your father a lot. I thought he was one of the most talented journalists there are. And you likewise are a very talented person. I do think this. I think you are very, I think you are toward the Democrat side, which is okay. I mean,
it's not true. Watch the
Dude.
James Comey interview I did in December.
Dude.
17 significant errors.
Dude. Calling, this reminds me of Ben Shapiro calling Andrew Neil left-wing because he just had no idea what he was talking about. He's not just unhinged.
In the FISA process, and you say that it was handled in a thoughtful and appropriate way.
Yeah, he's right. I was wrong.
But you make it sound like you're a bystander, an eyewitness. You were the director of the FBI while a lot of this was going on, sir.
Sure. I'm responsible for that. That's why I'm telling you, I was wrong. I was overconfident as director in our procedures.
You couldn't do as tough an interview with Comey. I'd like to think I treat everybody the same.
it just seems to me that you are very prone to be nice to the Democrats, and maybe I'm wrong about that, Chris, but it's an honor to be with you. It's fine. I love it. I love it that it's close to 100 degrees out today.
Your choice again.
Yeah,
Two
I
old
know,
men arguing.
I'm not saying you're going to lose. I am not saying that. We saw how you turned it around
He
last
is.
time.
I don't think I'm going to lose at all.
But
That's why
if
they're
you did,
discrediting mail-in ballots.
how crushing would it be to you?
First of all, let me just tell you something. I know everyone wants to know that because they'd love to see me lose. Finally.
I am not
You know how
saying
many
that at all.
times I've been written off? Do you know how many times I've been written off?
I've done some of it myself,
My
sir.
whole
I'm not doing
life.
it this time.
Don't do it because.
But how crushing would it be?
He's
And
saying
you know
his whole life he's been written off. He's been a millionaire since he was a baby, dude.
Because the country, in the end, then
just what it comes into picture so clearly. The old man, angry at the TV, who thinks everybody's against him. He hates everything he sees. He thinks everything is wrong except for him. And he just gets spoon-fed everything that he wants. And and he still manages to be the most aggrieved person on earth.
not going to have a man who's shot. He's shot. He's mentally shot. Let him come out of his basement, go around. I'll make 4 or 5 speeches a day. I'll be interviewed by you. I'll be interviewed by the worst killers that hate my guts. They hate my guts. There's nothing they can ask me that I won't give them a proper answer to. Some people will like it, some people won't like it.
I agree with that.
But
I don't know,
look,
dude. Some of these answers
You
are
answer the
pretty,
let
pretty
Biden
nuts.
sit through an interview like this. He'll be on the ground crying for mommy. He'll say, Mommy, Mommy, please take me home.
Well, we've asked him for an interview, sir.
He can't do an interview. He's incompetent. There's a number you don't
can't wait
mention.
for the
It's called
interview.
the enthusiasm number. The enthusiasm for Trump is through the roof.
I
Even higher.
have mentioned it.
Even higher than last time. The enthusiasm for Biden is non-existent. Everyone knows he's
But the
shot.
enthusiasm against you
Well, that's
is high.
okay. That's his only
True.
shot. I mean,
Right.
that's his only
True.
shot. I agree.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why he
And
was
those
nominated.
people know I'm doing a good job, but there's something in my personality that they don't like. Because look,
No.
nobody's done what I've done. Biden wants to come in.
You haven't done
and ruin
anything.
our country. Triple your taxes. He wants to do things. He wants to add regulations that I've all cut. And we still have regulation, a lot of regulation, but I've cut it down to a level that nobody ever thought possible.
Yeah, that's really
He will
bad.
destroy this
You get how
country.
that's bad, right?
It won't be him. It will be the radical left. The same type ideology that took over Venezuela, one of the richest countries in the world. They now have no water, they have no food,
I
and
can't
they have
keep
no
getting out of the
medicine.
camera
That's going to
center.
happen
Two
here
final questions.
if he wins.
Am I getting talked over
In
by the
general,
interview?
not talking about November.
I'm trying to keep
you
my
a good
levels
loser?
equal.
I'm not a good loser. I don't like to lose. I don't lose too often.
There we go. I'm trying to
Oh,
be
I
able to
see.
talk
Are you
over
gracious?
this.
You don't know until you see. It depends. I think mail-in voting is going to rig the election. I really do.
It's not.
Are you suggesting that you might not accept the results of the election?
I have to see. Look.
There's so
Hillary
much
Clinton
evidence
asked for
that
the
mail-in
same
voting
thing.
does
No,
not
I
rig
asked you the
elections.
same thing in the debate.
There is a tradition in this country. In fact, one of the prides of this country is the peaceful transition of power, and that no matter how hard fought a campaign is, that at the end of the campaign, that the loser concedes to the winner. Not saying that you're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner, but that the loser concedes to the winner, and that the country comes together in part for the good of the country. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit
What
to
I'm
that
saying
principle?
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Wow. Trump looks so much younger there. Look how much more full and yellow his hair is. Look how much, I mean, obviously there's more stage makeup on, but he's obviously in much worse shape now. Yikes. Also, Trump 100% will not accept the results of the election if there's any surge of mail-in ballots. Like, the whole point of him attacking mail-in ballots so much is the fact that mail-in ballots are not fraudulent. They are not. I have talked before about how little evidence there is that they are, but Republicans need them to be because they need to discredit them because they know they're going to lose this election. Every poll is trending horribly against them. It's a mess.
Well,
Okay.
Chris,
And you know what? She's the one that never accepted it.
I agree.
She never accepted her loss, and
But
she looks like
can
a
you
fool.
can you give a direct answer? You will accept the
I
election?
have to see. Look,
I mean, she didn't ask for a recount or say that she won. She was just like, hey, the whole popular vote, winning the popular vote by 2 million and still losing, that's a little messed up. And then she also didn't give a concession speech like a baby, but still, either way, she did technically accept the loss.
I have to see. No, I'm not going to just say yes. I'm not going to say no, and I didn't last time either.
Whether it's in 2021 or 2025, how will you regard your years as president of the United States?
I think I was very unfairly treated. From before I even won, I was under investigation
Yep.
by a bunch of thieves, crooks.
You were under investigation because you had people like Roger Stone in your campaign, buddy.
It was an illegal investigation.
But what about the
Russia,
good? What
Russia,
about the
Russia.
good
Wasn't.
part, sir?
No, I want to go this. I have done more than any president in history in the first 3.5 years, and I've done it suffering through investigations where people have been, General Flynn, where people have been so unfairly treated. The Russia hoax, it was all a hoax. The Mueller scam, it was all a scam. It was all false. I made a bad decision on one bad decision, Jeff Sessions, and now I feel good because he lost overwhelmingly in the great state of Alabama. Here's the bottom line. I've been very unfairly treated, and I don't say that as paranoid. Everybody says it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but there's tremendous evidence right now as to how unfairly treated I was. President Obama and Biden spied on my campaign. It's never happened in history. If it were the other way around, the people would be in jail for 50 years right now. That would be Comey, that would be Brennan, that would be all of this, the two lovers, Strzok and Page.
He cares so much about these people. The only thing he truly cares about is just how angry he is at everything. Just what a mad old guy he is.
Would be in jail now for many, many years.
Many
would be in
years.
jail. It would have started 2 years ago, and they'd be there for 50 years. The fact is, they illegally spied on my campaign. Let's see what happens. Despite that, I did more than any president in history in the first 3.5 years.
Mr. President, thank you. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that is that. My final thoughts. He falls for everything. He's just generally kind of, just kind of a baby. Old, yeah. I'm not even going to bother saying it again, but that's what he is. That's what he do. Alright, I think that's it for me. Looking forward to the election, obviously. Things are going to get weird. They're going to get dumb. This sucks.